is an Jessica is an incredible leader in our industry, our company, but just industry. And she is someone worth following. And I'm just so like humbled that she would speak to all of us tonight. She has achieved massive success in Plexus. She is an 8-star diamond ambassador. So she has not just built a successful business herself, she is helping so many other women create successful businesses and having a huge impact. She has a top-rated podcast. It called Prosperity with Purpose podcast. You guys know I've shared some of it in my stories and like in our chat. She is amazing, massive value. And I love that Jessica really speaks to the Christian business owner. Everything, her coaching, all of her content is through a biblical world lens, which I just love and I know is a great fit for our team. But she also specifically knows what it's like to be an overwhelmed business owner. And so she really is the coach for the overwhelmed business owner. So if you find yourself being like, I just can't handle it all, I feel like such a hot mess. I know I told her, I decided to hire her as my coach earlier this year. I was really seeking, I was in a rebuilding season. So many things felt like they were just, spinning out of control. I had been in massive momentum for a couple of years, felt like I couldn't find my way back there. I knew I needed to hire a coach. I knew I needed to work on my mindset. And why I picked Jess, I was between a couple people, and there was another girl that really is a strong Christian, homeschooling mom, all the things, great with systems. But Jess, she's great with systems too, but she understands that mindset truly is like the biggest part of it. And she's really, so she has a course that's called How to Get Off the Hot Mess Express. And I'm sure she'll tell you about it. But I was like, I need that because I feel like I'm on the Hot Mess Express all the time. I feel like I'm the hot mess mom. That's how I always kind of labeled myself and didn't really realize that was actually kind of a toxic thing to speak over myself. But Jess gets it. And so I was just going to do that course, but I decided to do her Prosperity with Purpose mentorship. And I have told her, like, you use me on anything. If you need promotional videos, if you need, like, use me because till I'm blue in the face, I will say it is like the best investment I've ever made. And I was looking at $16,000, $18,000, the insanity of what people charge for mentorships. And I got Jessica's is so reasonably priced. It was like around $2,000. And I got massive value beyond that. And every single post on social media, I felt like she was speaking directly to me. Like I was like, get out of my messages, my head, my journal, my chats, like get out of my head, right? And so I knew she was the coach for me. And I'm sitting here swarming under her sheets of, daily planners and Sunday showdowns and time blocking. And she just helped me take my chaos. And I can honestly say in my entire life, I have never felt as much peace as when I was working with Jessica, which is what she's after, is helping you understand. And I shared this on a mentorship call today with one of my leaders, that it is not one or the other, that you're in momentum and you are achieving great things, and like your life is chaotic and crazy and you're overwhelmed, or you're at peace and you're not achieving much in your business. It's not all or nothing. It's Jessica's helped me be like, I am a mom, a great intentional present mom, and a successful business owner. And those things can go so well hand in hand, and you can work from a place of peace, even with massive success. So I'm going to let her take it over because I don't want to take up any of her time. I know she has us. Jess, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to hear from you.
You're welcome. I'm doing my nightly restore. So who else doing their nightly restore? Cheers, cheers, cheers. I'm so honored to be here, excited. I've got a lot. We're going to see what the Lord has in store for us. But I want to start. What are you grateful for about Plexus? Like today, so far in your Plexus career, I need you to be in the chat right now. Like, why are you grateful? Why did God send Plexus to your life? Like, I want to know. Fill up the chat. Let's be super, super engaging tonight. I just want to start from that place. I mean, I just got back from Maui, and it's so easy to be grateful right after Maui, right? But I was just in Maui, and honestly, I'd been there 7 times. I wasn't looking forward to going to Maui again, and I got there, and I was just like, wait, this is amazing. Like, thank you, Plexus. Like, I literally like was in this space of, I don't understand why everyone does not do this. Like, I just don't understand. Okay. So people are grateful for hope, community. I'm grateful for more energy, options for my family. So happy to have found a new community, better health, covering my products and then some. Possibility. They're grateful for friendships. So beautiful. The impact I've been able to make. Okay. Why I wanted to start with this, because it's so important to start with this. Okay. Now I'm going to do another exercise for you. I want you to write. oh, sorry. You may have heard me say this before, but play along with me for a second. I need you to write down on a piece of paper your dream income through Plexus. You don't have to put it in the chat. I just want you to physically write it down. What is your dream income through Plexus? Yearly income. Okay. And then kind of put your hand up when you have officially written it down. Everybody written it down? If you're in the car, I need you to like text it to yourself or something. We need to physically make decisions. Okay. Or tell your person, your spouse with. Okay. Okay. Now you have that number. Excellent. You've gotten the number. Now I need you to exit out and I need you to times it by 100. You may have done this with me in the past and I've had you times it by 10, but I need you to times it by 100. I want to invite you to start opening yourself up to the possibility of an infinite God. Okay, to bust a ceiling or even be aware of what your ceiling was for this is how successful I can be. This is how much money, if I hustle really hard, I can make. Like this is the amount. This is the dream. This is, however you came up with that amount of money. But I want you to times it by 100. And I want you to understand you cannot get to that number by you hustling. That number, that times 100 number, is going to have to come through a way completely differently than how you've done it in the past. Okay? The world does not need busy leaders. The world needs more focused leaders. Okay? Let me tell you a little story. So 6, 7, 8 months, in the beginning of this year, if I'm being completely honest, I was just kind of like, I don't know about this Plexus thing. I don't know about it. I don't know if I want to do it anymore. I don't know if this is working. I don't know if it can grow. I don't know if I can grow. I don't know if I want to grow. And that was incredibly vulnerable to admit, even just to myself. Like a lot of tears came, a lot of reality came, and it led me to a beautiful shift. If you haven't listened to my podcast episode, I believe it's, which one is it? Hold on. Go through all the parts of this particular exercise. And there is a huge reason I'm telling you this. You can get to it at teamplexusprovision.com/rankup, but it's episode number 102, how to create a different result for your life. So I had to accept, excuse me. I'm about to sneeze. I think I'm okay. Okay, so I came to this reality of, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. I was just like listening to lies. I had let in a lot of people's opinions of, I don't think where's Plexus going? I don't know. I don't think it's going anywhere. Plexus isn't working anymore. And I got in that space of letting a lot of this stuff in. Okay. And then vision came along. I did an exercise similar to what I just did with you guys on timesing my dream income by 100 and just allowed my brain the capacity, the ceiling busting possibility of what if. And then I believed, why did you start this business in the first place? Why does anybody do anything in the first place? Why does someone work on their marriage? But why does someone exercise? Why does someone start their Plexus business in the first place? Is it because they believe it can get better? They believe in something bigger than themselves. They believe they can have a different result than what they had in the first place. So when I did this exercise, I was like, hold up. So you're telling me and I just did 10X. I could 10X my Plexus business and it would be easier, not harder. And so I was like, it opened me up to this like otherworldly possibilities of like, okay, if I can do this and I'm going to do it different than I did it the first time, what are some very specific things I'm going to focus on? Okay. Which led me to episode 102. I teach you how to create a different result. I had to first accept where I was. So I want to invite all of you, no matter where you are, to accept where you are. It was always supposed to be this way. You were always supposed to, on September 24th, 2024, be right where you are today. There is nothing you can do about your past. You cannot change what rank you are. You cannot change your income level from the past. You cannot change any of that. And let me release you, because it's causing you a lot of pain, probably being like, I wish I was this. I should have done this. I should be farther along than I am. You were always supposed to be right where you are right now. And what a gift. And you already told me why you're so grateful for what you have right now. It is a gift where you are right now. So I had to accept where I was right now. Okay. Then I had to take ownership. First of all, we can do awareness. Then I had to be aware of where even am I? Okay. And so I got a meeting with my Jewel liaison at Plexus. You can get with your upline. And I had to get real honest about what my numbers were. Like, what was my retention percentage? How many new ambassadors are we adding new VIPs are we adding every month? And what levels are they coming from? And how many people on my team are ranking up? Like, I needed to know those numbers. Like, it was no longer time to be like, I'm going to ignore these. Plexus isn't working. My team isn't growing, but I'm going to ignore all of this. No, I had to be aware. And then I had to take ownership. I had to be aware of my responsibility in those numbers. Okay. Not my upline's responsibility, not my downline's responsibility. I had to take ownership for what was my responsibility. And my numbers told a story. And so my numbers were, for example, my retention wasn't that great. The majority of all my new VIPs were coming from levels 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And I wasn't having very many rank ups at all on levels 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So that led me to an awareness of like, yay, Jessica was doing some great things 9 years ago when she had a lot of rank ups, a lot of growth in her levels 1 through 3, a lot of those things. But I was not doing some of the activities and some of the focused attention to detail that needed to happen to make the needle move in the areas that I needed it to move. Okay. So I had to have acceptance, awareness, take ownership, and then with really, 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 really specific intentionality, focus on certain areas I wanted to see growth in. So focus on areas, but also find the accountability. I've hired many coaches. I've had conversations with my upline. I wasn't ever counting on my upline to do something. I am the CEO of my business. You are the CEO of your business. It is not your upline's responsibility to make you successful. And it's not your responsibility to make your downline successful. Everybody is a grown adult. Everybody has the invitation, the opportunity to look at these numbers themselves and make a change. So that was just kind of what happened with me. And when I went through that phase, when I got really specific, when I got really focused, when I didn't start hustling for my points, I just was incredibly focused on the areas that I wanted to pay attention to. Also read this book, which I highly recommend. You can listen to it for free on his podcast. It's called Build to Last by Keith Callahan. This was how I built in the beginning. So you can get this book, highly recommend, listen to it for free on his podcast. But he talks about how in the business of network marketing, you really just need 5 leaders. And so if you don't have 5 strong leaders, let's do a little exercise right now. Where's the focus? Where can the focus be if you do not have 5 strong leader legs? What are very specific things that you can do if you do not currently have 5 strong leader legs? Let's look in the comments. Someone said that what a life-changing thought, and that it's not my upline's responsibility or not my downline's responsibility. Yes, girl, free yourself. Free yourself. Let's see. Sign new level 1s, help them go silver. Okay, I'm going to take you even a step back. Yes, that's how you get 5 new leaders. But how do you even sign new level 1s? This is so good. Yes, because that's big picture. Duh. Sign new level 1s, help them rank up. Absolutely. Basics. But what are the action steps? Who do you need to become or be around in order for you to sign new level? And I don't really care about you signing level ones. You could sign 500 whiny, needy product takers that aren't going to get you to your next goal. I'm talking about 5 leaders. Okay, let's see what's going on in the comments. So what are very focused, specific things you could do? Share the business. Become your own rock star. Get clear on your ideal business builder. Cast vision. My thing is freezing up. I talk about this all the time. That's right, Stephanie. I'd take 4 quarters versus 100 pennies all day long. Okay, so if we're going to focus on 5 leaders, how many times this week do you need to would you post about business, opportunity, income, time flexibility, the income disclosure chart? Who are you? If I were to go and do a 2-week audit on your own Facebook, I do this all the time. Someone says, I don't have any business builders on my team. I will go scroll back on their Facebook 2 weeks, and they always never have a business post, something that would attract me to join their team. Why do I say me? I just mean I joined because I was praying for a way to make money from home. I joined. I'd never tried the products before in my life. I joined to get to Emerald. That's what I wanted, what I needed, and my aunt, my crazy aunt, twice removed, and the lady who cut my husband's hair were posting about Plexus, and they were crazy annoying. They weren't posting about the business opportunity. They were posting about how they could make money and how I needed to help them and buy from them. And it was just like, ew, no wonder you didn't grow. And the rest of their Facebook posts were whiners, complainers, picking fights, drama. Who you are is how you lead. Okay, what's going on, Mike? Twice a day, daily. Yes, girl. I'm doing an exclusive accountability group for my Plexus team, and their challenge this week was to post 4 times a day. 4 times a day, 2 Plexus, 2 non-Plexus for all of this week. Like, do something to bust yourself out of the rut. Do something to show up for you. Okay, here's what I'm reading. I read this today. It's one of my favorite verses of all times. Romans 4. Okay, first of all, I'm going to go back to this. Okay, I'm not going to go back to what other ambassadors are doing, what is working or not working for everybody else, what people are saying about the future of Plexus, what people like. That is all like down here. That's like in the natural. Okay. I want to operate from a different realm of thinking, a different realm of believing. And as Romans 4:18 says, against all odds, when it looked hopeless, Abraham believed the promise and expected God to fulfill it. Another verse says, against all hope, Abraham in hope believed. Against all hope, Abraham in hope believed. When everybody else, when it's not working let me tell you something. When I told you that story at the beginning of this year, I since then have doubled my business, doubled my reentry leg, and gone past Emerald. Okay, since I've had that awareness, since I've taken that awareness, acceptance, ownership, accountability, and intentionality, I have doubled my team. Okay, when other even Star Diamonds were like, I don't know, I was like, I'm not listening to that. I'm not being involved in that chat. I'm not going to be in the comments of that Facebook page, because I know what God has called me to do. And God has called me to help 1,000 families make $100,000 or more. I have a vision that was way bigger than it was in the past. And my vision is what propels me. So what is your vision? If you are the CEO of your business, okay, because you are, okay? Like, can I just smack this hobbiness off of you? Can I just smack this Plexus in the nooks and crannies? If it works, it works. No, you are a network marketing professional. Write that in the comments right now. I am a network marketing professional. Write it. You are the CEO of a business that just so happened to only cost you $10. Newsflash, we own Graybird Airmo and Arkansas Sportsman, and we took, you know how much it cost to buy those? Over $1 million. You know how much it cost to pay for my Plexus business? $35. I am a network marketing professional. Write it. Who's writing it? I am a network marketing professional. I am a network marketing professional. I am the CEO of my business. Okay. And a CEO takes ownership. They're not looking at what people are doing or aren't doing. They are the leader. They are steering their ship. They are clear on their vision. They are clear on their focus. And that is what propels them to take action. So, what is the vision? This is something you may not have thought of before. You may have a very clear vision statement, mission statement. Like if you go to a church or you work for a big Fortune 500 company, they all have mission statements, a tagline, a list of core values that they operate their business from. A lot of you guys have, maybe they have these for your family, like core values for your family. It's kind of how you make decisions, what you operate from. Like, do you have those for your business? How do you operate in your business? What's important to you? Of course, because of course it's going to feel icky. And of course you're not going to be in momentum. If you do not have a vision and you're just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't need any more money. I mean, more money would be nice, but I'm comfortable. What if that thought was actually selfish? Did you hear what I said? I'm comfortable. I don't need any more. I have everything I need. We're doing just fine. I don't really need it. What did I just say? Literally 5, 6 times. When your vision is 100 times bigger than you, you'll become a person of purpose who lives on purpose. What if you lived into that mantra, that vision, that I am a person of purpose who lives on purpose? Because what does a person of purpose who lives on purpose wake up and do? Do they do the 500 things that are screaming at them? Or the person of purpose who lives on purpose, who lives in their vision, is going to do very specific tasks and say no to a lot of other things. They're going to be led by their 100x vision of what their future can be. They're going to, against all hope, and hope Abraham believed. That's where they're coming from. Another verse I was reading today out of Hebrews 11. So it's like this chapter of, they call it the Faith Hall of Fame. It goes through all these stories of all these great heroes of faith in the past, and how their faith, they did it by faith. They did it by faith. Like Moses did it by faith. Abraham did it by faith. They marched around the walls of Jericho by faith. Like all of these things were by faith. And at the end it says, where's it at? They all lived their lives on earth as those who belonged to another realm. They weren't doing the earthly logical thing. They weren't doing what everybody else was telling them to do. They were living from a different realm, thinking from a different realm. Our podcast episode that's going to come out this Thursday it's along the lines of transformation doesn't come from working harder. It comes from believing higher. Transformation doesn't come from working harder. It comes from believing higher. Let me see what's going on in the comments over here. Someone said, what's the vision for my business? The vision for my business is to help 1,000 families make $100,000 or more. And that's not even going to come from only my Plexus team. That's going to come from everybody I mentor. My mentorship, that's going to come from one of you who takes a nugget from this call tonight and runs with it. You know what I do when I go to every single training call? I come with the expectation of I am going to get out of this exactly what I need. I don't come with the attitude of heard that, done that, tried that before, did everything else and it didn't work. I've heard Jessica Hefley train before, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm going to get out of this exactly what I need. and you live your life in that posture of receiving, that posture of humility, that posture of learning, that posture of wisdom, and you will go far as a leader. Let's see what else is going on up here. Okay. Let's see what I'm going to do some coaching for you guys. Let me see, make sure I got over my biggest notes. Well, I also believe one of my beliefs is, I want to help 1,000 families with 100K or more. And that doesn't have to, that's not your vision. Okay. Stop trying to make your vision look like my vision or be similar to my vision or be a fraction of my vision or multiple. Like, my vision is not your vision. We all will have a different vision. Okay. Because we are individuals. God works, God's spirit is living in, and we're to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. Okay. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as in heaven. And so God is going to work through you. I was coaching somebody earlier today, and she was like, I only make a couple $100. Like, I don't feel like I have anything to promote on social media. And I was like, what do you want to do? What's your vision? And she had this vision for helping with this like pregnancy center. And I was like, and I told her, I was like, how are you sowing when you're making $200 a month? How are you right now sowing into your future vision? I don't care if it's $20, but how are you donating, sowing into your vision of wanting to be a part of that organization, wanting to help that? That's important to you. You want to back it up. The lie is, I have to wait till I'm emerald and then I can give it a significant amount of money, or then I can build an orphanage, or then I can do this. Like, no, what are you doing right now where you're investing $10 into something for the kingdom that is important to you? Because we're like in this like math stage. We're like, $10 isn't that much, $20 isn't that much, $200 isn't that much. Stop. You're stuck in addition, and God's the God of multiplication. He took 5 loaves and 2 fish, and he fed 5,000 people. So down here in this realm is addition. Okay. My God is full of multiplication. My God is full of vision. My God is full of answering other people's prayers through you. I literally was praying for a way to make money from home. This was the answer to my prayer. Plexus was. Because someone showed up on social media consistently posting about the business. My prayer was answered through Plexus. I never tried the products before, ever. So you guys that are like only reaching out about the products, like, you make perfect sense that you have a team full of needy product users. Okay. So one of my sayings is, I believe that there should be more money in the hands of good people. More money in the hands of good people. If you've never listened to my money mindset, I have a 5-part money mindset series. If you go to jessicahefley.com/money, that will take you the link to those. I've got a free printable on scriptures around money. We have a lot of Christians have a distorted view of money, and I want to take you to the truth of God's word and let your mind be renewed by the truth of that. And then I will leave you with this last question, and then I want y'all, how I do it around here is you can raise your virtual hand or put in the comments, and I will bring you on and coach you about anything, everything, a thought, a fear, something you're avoiding, something you're resisting, anything, marriage, life, business, because it's all related. Okay. But let me ask you this question. Who told you you weren't good enough? Who told you you weren't good enough? Who told you you weren't good enough to be diamond, or good enough to be a leader, or good enough to make money? Who told you? What does the truth say about you? Because there ain't nothing in this book that says you ain't good enough. There ain't nothing in this book that says you're worthless. There ain't nothing in this book that says you should fear. I see a lot of hope. I see a lot of courageousness. I see a lot of people doing something different from the rest of the world. And I bless you with that. Okay. Questions, comments, thoughts, coaching. Who wants to get coached? as I'm coaching somebody, I want you also to be putting something in the comments that you are taking away from tonight. And it is not helpful for you to have, you could have 5 pages of notes from tonight. I mean, I think I said some pretty quotable things, but none of that matters, okay, if you're not going to implement. If you're not going to, like, you could take 5 pages of notes and this notebook could go over here to never be seen again. But you're a person of purpose who lives on purpose. So tell me in the comments at least one thing you're taking away from tonight. I can't wait to hear it. Okay. Keep putting that in the comments. And who wants to get coached? Questions, comments, thoughts? First and foremost, if you're feeling terrified to raise your hand, that means you're human and you're normal, and there's some embarrassment that comes with being vulnerable about your situation. And the smartest, healthiest people I know are willing to feel that.
Jessica, I got a question.
Yeah.
First of all, I wrote down the quote that you said, transformation doesn't come from working harder, it comes from believing higher.
Mm-hmm.
That stopped me in my tracks. I wrote that down. I absolutely love that.
Me too.
What I'm curious about is, if you don't mind sharing, and I think from what I know about you, you're an open book. So with the leaders that you have and everybody that has joined you, do you mind talking strategy for just a minute here? As far as the people that have joined you, like the diamonds that you have, the jewels that you have, were these people that came along because of what you were posting on social media? Or were these people that came along because you picked up the phone and told people about this business opportunity? I think you've been in this like probably at least a decade, like myself, where I feel like we watch social media shift so much over the years. And so I'm always curious when I talk to leaders in this, outside of just posting on social media, how do you draw in business builders? Are you doing events? Are you getting on the phone with people? Are you going to lunch with people? I'm super curious about that with you, if you don't mind sharing.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Great question. Okay. So many things. I'm writing down a bunch of things I want to talk about from this one question. First of all, I want to invite all of us to be aware of how we show up when we believe the thought social media has shifted over the years. What if it hasn't? What if we're like, oh, social media doesn't work anymore? When I had to look at this, I can only speak from my own experience. Like, I had to look at myself and be like, did social media stop working, or did I stop posting as frequently or as bold as I used to post? So I choose to believe that, because I know in my throes going to Emerald, I was posting 4 times a day. There was no question where people should buy Plexus. It was from me. There was no question if Jessica was still doing Plexus or not. I absolutely was. I was the person on fire, and I did not annoy the people who wanted to hear this. It did not annoy people who were about to say yes. It did not annoy the people who were going to be on my team. It intrigued them. They wanted to hear more. They wanted to learn more. They actually wanted me to post more. So there's my little 2 cents on that. Interesting thought, right? But let me pull up my diamonds, and I'll tell you quickly how they all joined. How about that? I think that's helpful sometimes. But before I tell you that, the people who got me to Emerald on my reentry this summer aren't my OGs. They aren't my old leaders. I actually had to have a come to Jesus, like, grieving that actually many of my original leaders are no longer working the business anymore. And so a lot of my pain, a lot of my frustration, a lot of my uncomfortableness was like, some of my best friends who we've gone on trips with together. We've done book studies. We've led book studies together. We've done coaching calls and power hours together in the past. They're not in it anymore. And it was this like grieving release of what is the truth. Like it was a lot of pain for me to like keep begging them, keep trekking them, keep pushing them along when they weren't in it anymore. And so all of my growth, y'all, I have swept well, after I add 2 more people and earn that skylight, I will have swept the contest on my re-entry. That is new growth, new people, a new boldness of posting consistently, posting about the business, and a new belief that there are still millions of people who need what I have to offer. There are. And it is such a scarce view to think, oh, my network is tapped out. Social media isn't the same anymore. All of those things. When that did not prevent Megan Goff last week from asking the lady who was giving us our acai bowls at the hotel. She's like, okay, there's tons of Plexus people. Has anybody actually talked to you about Plexus this week? Do you even know what it is? No one had talked to her. She'd probably served 200 Plexus people in a part-time paying job, and not one person had talked to her. Megan Goff does it all the time. She talks to people. Tamara Holloway has 4 jewels on her team that were complete strangers that she developed relationships through BabyWise, through online Facebook yard sales. Like when you believe there's a will, like when you believe it is possible, you'll find a way. Okay, but here's how I found my original jewels. Like I believe wholeheartedly how Genevieve teaches that part of the success of this business is a recipe. It blows my mind how many people I still coach on my own team, where even I say it 5,000 times, they aren't reaching out to people about the business. And I'm like, excuse me, what? You haven't reached people about the business and you don't have business builders? Do you see how this is working? Okay. Carissa Casey, terrified out of my ever loving mind. If you know Carissa, she's confident. She's confident, she's bold, she's beautiful, she's all the things. And she had a double mastectomy. She has the gene. Her mom died of breast cancer. And so she was open about her journey. She was on long-term antibiotics and was posting about that on social media. I took the avenue of educating her on gut health, on what long-term antibiotic use can do to your gut. Scared out of my ever-loving mind, reached out to her, and she actually was like, hey, actually, me and Chris was looking into either you or Abacare. So since you reached out, we want the weight loss combo. And I was like, what? I was terrified. Okay, you're going to notice there's a theme to these. It's called terrified. So if you're terrified, I highly recommend. Okay. You ever heard the saying that the first 6 months in your business is really just about regulating your nervous system? I would agree with that for your entire Plexus career. And what do I mean by regulating your nervous system? I just mean that when you are new and you're posting for the very first time, that can be terrifying. When you're reaching out to somebody you really respect about the business who could tell you no, that can be terrifying. When you're going to host a sip and see or go to a meeting by yourself, that can feel terrifying. And you know what the rest of the world, the majority of the world does when they feel terrified? They run the other way. They ignore. They do not even come close to, they do not want to feel a hint of fear or uncomfortableness. You know what makes you different? You know what makes leaders different? Is they are willing to acknowledge they're scared, acknowledge they're terrified, but powerfully choose to do it anyways. That is what will set you apart. And so I have made it this unwritten rule in my own brain that anything about this business that scared me, I made myself do it. If there was someone who popped up in my newsfeed and I'm like, oh, sweaty pits. I would make myself do that. Okay. And guess who didn't die? Guess who hasn't died? Guess who, just reapplies the deodorant. Okay. So Carissa, Ryan, Guilford, absolutely terrifying. I have lots of terrifying friends. I just have a lot of intimidating friends. She was a hater. She was one of my, if you don't know my story, when I first started, I reached out to 5 of my closest friends from like church and life. And she was one of them. She was very, very sick. She had been diagnosed with celiac disease. She was going in once a month for infusions, like a cancer patient, because her body would not absorb nutrition. She couldn't sleep. She was losing her eyelashes and eyebrows and hair. And I knew her current life situation too. And I knew that she desperately needed money. But she told me no. So I took the approach. Humility is such a good approach. Don't go to someone with a chronic disease and be like, Plexus will help you. Go with curiosity to learn about what they've suffered with. And so I asked her if I could come to her work, and I wanted to hear her celiac story. I've been reading stories on how Plexus could help, but I wanted to hear her story. I wanted to hear what else she'd tried, what she'd suffered through. I wanted to connect with her. I didn't want to be the expert in an illness that I had never personally suffered from. And the Lord has only had me do this with 2 other people ever. And I said, if I will buy the Triplex and X Factor original for you for a month, will you take it? And she said, you'll pay for it? And I said, yes. And she said, when it doesn't work, I can put it all over Facebook that it doesn't work. And I said, yes. And she took it. Her life was forever changed. 30 days later, she went in for blood infusions, and she did not have to have blood infusions anymore. Changed her life forever. But I reached out. Do you see? I reached out to these people. Let's see who else. Sally Lewis, she's my level 2, but her sponsor was a single mom. She was recently single, newborn baby. She did not want to do network marketing, did not want to do it. She actually was going to school to get her CRN certification so she could be a night nurse, so she wouldn't have to be away from her baby girl. I had an honest conversation with her that she was being an idiot. You're going to work night shifts instead of posting on social media. I had to do something uncomfortable in love, but too many of us are non-confrontational. Okay. Sometimes I'm not saying be a monster. I'm not saying be rude, but I am saying when you believe in something and you believe that it can genuinely help someone's life, tell them. Something that really opened my eyes is I had a good friend. They ended up, none of these people joined me in the beginning, but months later, after I was posting like crazy, sharing testimonies, sharing about getting my nails done for free, sharing about earning leaders retreat, many of them came back on board. But so a lot of my friends from my life group at church came on board, but there was one girl who she ended up joining later with another girl in my downline, but she said, you know what? I always just thought you didn't think I could do this since you never invited me to do the business. I just believed that you didn't think I'd be very good at it since you never asked me to do it. Ouch. Okay, here I was being like, I'm so worried what they're going to think about me if I ask them to do the business. And she was over there like, well, she's posting all the time on Facebook. She's winning free trips. She's making good money. I mean, we're really good friends, but she never told me to do it. I bet you she doesn't think I could be successful. Can you imagine the story that she was telling herself compared to the story I was telling myself, and neither of it was the truth? So interesting, right? So what actually if those really solid friends of yours are those really influential Facebook friends, those ones that love to help, love to have a good time, already love health and wellness? Like, what if they're over there like, well, I mean, she looks like she has an amazing opportunity, but little old me, I mean, I guess she doesn't think I could do it. How does that thought change who you're going to reach out to tonight after this call? Anybody? It sure does me when I think about it that way. Let me see some more. And then another one is my husband. It's a diamond of mine. So he's the one who told me, heck no, don't do Plexus. But I did it anyways. And then he tried to self-sabotage it when he first started the products. Like, he ate a bunch of ice cream and drank extra Coke, and he still felt amazing, and he still lost some weight. And so he was like, oh, okay, these work. Megan Goff, her sponsor, I went to church camp with. So I did have out of my, how many do I have? 10 legacy stars. Only 2 of them reached out to me, and the rest of them I initiated the conversations with. But 2 of them did reach out to me. Okay, there are still millions. That's right. A new belief. There are still millions of people who need what I have to offer. Okay, so let's do like a tangible example of how I reach out to people about the business now. Is I always send some sort of video with my voice message. I will voice message usually, and I will send some sort of resource. Don't talk to them. Don't do a long voice message. Don't try to explain what Plexus is. Show them. From the very first conversation, they're thinking, can I do this or not? And if you're word vomiting, explaining something, they're thinking, well, I mean, I don't know any of that, so I can't do this. But if you're like, okay, you're smart. This is what I've been doing lately, y'all. I've been talking to business people, and I'm like, okay, you're a smart business person. You understand that multiple streams of income is important. Have you taken a serious look at Plexus before? I think you would be amazing at it, and you would love going on a cruise with me. And then I send them, actually my favorite video to send is Marianne Anderson has like a 30-minute one that's really extensive on the business and the products. Or I'll send the 6-minute Marianne compensation plan one, or I'll send our family has like a 5-minute business testimonial video. Okay, are there questions, thoughts? Stephanie, was that helpful? Did I cover everything?
Yeah, that was super helpful, Jessica. And yeah. And I love that you just noted, like, has social media really changed us? You know, I love that you say that, because I've watched, like, and I'm sure you've seen this too, and everybody on this call probably can feel this in some certain way. It's, you know, to niche, to not niche. Are you on Facebook or are you on Instagram? And I feel like at the end of the day, we just are in this hamster wheel of trying to come up with a strategy when maybe we just go back to, like, I know I say this in my head, where I started in 2014, where I just posted boldly, unapologetically, with zero strategy, and that's how I got all the leaders on my team. You know,
I don't have a strategy.
yeah, just simply, purely, unapologetically sharing what I love about this. Like, this is a part of my everyday life, not overthinking it, not trying to niche, not trying to, I don't know, like, just so many things. And I'm not saying that, you know, if you, cause I'm just dating myself. Like, I've built 99.9% of my Plexus business on Facebook. I've had a couple people ask me in just at convention this year. I have under 1,500 followers on Instagram, and I'm a 3-star diamond. And I'm like, there you go, sister. There's no strategy. I don't have I don't have a huge Instagram following. I think it's so individual to every person. This is just me and my story where I started. I have leaders on my team that are crushing it on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I have seen it where it's like, I have found, just being vulnerable and being honest, myself as a leader in this, I have stumbled in, how do I coach people? Like, in how to create a, social media presence, or how to duplicate this, or to tell them what to do. Where I just feel like maybe, we just need to go back to that, like, boldly and unapologetically being consistent, just being consistent.
Sorry, I was looking for this quote. Is be intentional until it comes natural. And so I can totally agree with you, Stephanie. Social media posting was always an easy thing for me. I understand that it's not for other people. Like, it has never been hard for me to do it. And honestly, pro tip, every single morning I go look at my memories on Facebook, and more than likely I will post the exact same thing I posted 1 year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. I'm work smarter, not harder. I mean, almost everything. I'm about to post something else tonight. I posted it 2 years ago on today's date. So there's my secrets out. Okay, you were saying, so how to coach somebody in that, and you have to go back to, well, like Genevieve says, the areas of the ingredients for the recipe, like posting, reaching out, following up, like those are all the things. Because you'll have people that are posting. Did you reach out? Were you reaching out to people at all, Stephanie, when you were posting so consistently?
In the first year, honestly, no.
Yeah.
I had a great response from just posting,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just this fluid for the first year or two. I feel like I was probably over 2 years in before I started to like cold message people.
Mm-hmm.
But I just was just from posting, just from, hey, this is what I love, this is what it's doing for me. And I had a regular, just a pretty consistent response from that. Um, in people that just wanted to try the products. And somebody asked me not long ago, what is the secret sauce for all of the jewels that you have, the jewels on your team? What is one thing that they all have in common? And I've consistently said they all love the products. And
Mm-hmm.
the majority of the jewels that signed up under me directly, they wanted nothing to do with this business, but they
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with the products. So there's that. But Ashley, you have a question I would love for you to ask because I don't want to take up all the time here.
Yeah, first of all, this has been so good. Like I've
Yay!
got 2 full pages of notes, and I've been in Plexus 9.5 years, and I needed everything that you said tonight. So, but when you were talking about reaching out to people, doing those bold reach outs,
Uh-huh.
one thing that I feel like we shifted it when I first started, it was like cold messaging all day long. And then it was like, okay, hold on, we need to build relationships with people before we open up those conversations. What do you think I guess the etiquette is right now? Do you just, if you find someone that you want to reach out to, do you just go straight for it? Or are you trying to, because I know sometimes it feels weird, right? To like try to butter someone up to then go in for the kill. How do you look at that? Is it something that you're working before you're going to mention Plexus to them? Are you trying to build that relationship to a certain point before it feels appropriate, or are you just going for it?
Great question. Coach on this one a lot. I want you to notice if here's the line of cold message and enough relationship to send a message, what actually is the moment before it is enough relationship building? When do you actually know when it's enough relationship building? Anyways, I think you're getting my point of,
Yeah.
there isn't actually a right or wrong answer about that. And I would invite you to start noticing, like, when I think I haven't built the relationship enough, I don't message anybody. Interesting. What could also else be true? I message people a lot that I don't know very well. And because I don't have a story that they're going to think I'm cold messaging them. I don't have a story. I'm not making it mean that I'm sleazy. I'm not making it mean anything. I'm making it mean, oh, you're a new kid. You're in Judson's class this year and you look super fun. And I saw that you're looking for a part-time job. And so I messaged you. Or you're really into health. You have a ton of followers on social media. Have you taken a serious look at Plexus and send a triplex video? Like, I don't make it mean that I'm insensitive or send cold message. I don't even use the word cold messages anymore. I have a vision for who I'm called to help. Like Stephanie said, I believe the products work. I believe there is zero risk for people to try this, which is amazing, right? Like other network marketing companies have like thousands of dollars startup. We literally don't. I go back to the story I tell myself is that Megan Goff saved money on Plexus products. She had mold toxicity. She was working with a health practitioner. She was on tons of supplements and not getting better. She tried Plexus. It saved her money and she got better. So I have to always go back to what are my thoughts about this? And I get to choose. I can choose to believe, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm sleazy. Or I can choose to think, I believe in them. I'm going to say nice, kind things to them. And if they don't want to do this, who cares? But I know that I'm scared to reach out to them, which means I must do it. I want to brag on Stephanie. I really do not know Stephanie at all. But I can just tell she has this like wisdom about her, right? This like, you're just cool as a cucumber, man. And it is like peaceful to me. And so I don't want you guys to hear Stephanie and think like, well, I can just do whatever she did. I am positive that whatever she did before Plexus and whatever she's done in the last 10 years of Plexus has been to grow herself personally and professionally. Like she has literally embodied who you are is how you lead. And so if you're one of those listening, you're like, well, Stephanie just had to post and I don't have to do anything. Like, good for her. Or maybe you can learn something from that. And who is Stephanie? How did she become who she is? What are her values? What has she learned? What has she invested in? What type of person is she? I think that's such an undervalued piece of the recipe is our own personal growth and development. I know she's invested in coaches. She has read books. She has grown herself. She has put herself out there. And I just like, hey girl, I don't really know you very well, but I really like you. I'm really proud of you. And so I wanted to say that. And then one last thing, and I got to go put my kids to bed, but I have shifted in these last 6 months how I post. Like even in my store, let me tell you this. Let me tell you why. I'm tired of trying to convince somebody to show up for a team call, to read a book that I'm doing a book study for. I am tired of trying to sneakily convince somebody to make a post and accidentally go silver. I want people who want to be challenged. And so when I talk to my ideal client and my stories are in my posts, she's willing to do scary things. She wants to grow. She wants to be coached. She's already listening to podcasts and leadership development books. Okay. She's willing to do big, bold, and scary things to create a different future for her family. She wants to leave an inheritance for her children's children. That is the cry of her heart. And I'm speaking to her because when I sign people like her, I don't have to do anything. I mean, hardly anything. You guys are causing yourself so much pain from the story of like, I can't get my downline to work. I must be a bad leader. Nobody's doing anything. No, when you sign someone like Stephanie, like Kim, like me, like whoever, like they just go. Okay. And so what if we read our story of like, I'm a bad leader and nobody wants to do this anymore. And we're just like, we just haven't found him yet. We just haven't found him yet. But there's millions of people out there, and you're going to start changing how you post, how you focus, how you reach out, and who you're talking to. And you're going to do it consistently, because don't do it 2 times and then start crying that it didn't work. That's not taking acceptance, awareness, ownership, intentionality. Okay. You go listen to episode 102 if you need to. You have the ability to steer the ship in a different direction. You're the CEO of your business, and you can change it in a different direction. I did. You can. Other people will. Other people will tell you that you can't. But you get to choose what voice you're listening to. You get to choose. You always have a choice. I got to go. Put my kids to bed.
Can I ask you one quick question? I think we missed a really important question in the comments. I know you got to go. You've been so generous with your time, but I know that the coaching is your big thing, and I wanted these girls to experience it because it's life-changing. Ashley with an ASHLEIGH, Krell, she asked a question where she said, what do you do when you are doing the actions but are still hitting walls? I recently realized that I have been too broad on my person, so I'm pulling it in to be more direct, but I currently feel like I'm battling the keep going feeling when it's a lot of sowing and no fruit. And I know you're going to do a little quick coaching if you have a second on the mindset. It got kind of buried way up there in the chat.
Okay. I would
Ashley,
encourage.
I don't know if you want to unmute yourself. Oh, go ahead.
I would, Ashley, first of all, good job. Way to be consistent. Way to put yourself out there. Way to show up when it may not be a season of momentum. I've been there. I think a lot of us have been there. It didn't seem as fun in that season. And for that, Ashley, I just want to pray a blessing of vision over you. I just want to pray for a newness. God is doing a new thing, and it looks different than it's ever been done before. Your future is going to be different than it was in the past. It's going to be different leaders, different strategies, different ways of doing things, different ways to post. And I would just encourage you to go back to cling to the vision, because there will be an energy behind that. There can either be an energy of like, I'm doing the things and this isn't working. Should I even be doing this thing? Should I quit? Why am I even doing this anymore? I'm not seeing any fruit. Like, do you understand that energy? Or the energy of, okay, Lord, today and only today, what do you want me to do to bring heaven to earth through my life and business, my home and my business? Okay, because we are called to do things in our home as well. And you can never go wrong with exactly what he tells you to do, who he tells you to reach out to, who he tells you to post for. When Whiny Butts McGee has 5,000 questions and she doesn't show up for the team call and hasn't read the book, like, she can stay in the inbox for a few days. Okay. I mean, I could do a whole other training on empowering. Okay. Here's baby step on that. You got people who aren't showing up for you. You know what I did for my executive coaching? They had to read this book in order for me to help them. Or they had to watch this training video before I got on a training call with them. Give them something to do. Not everybody's going to do it. And that's where your scarcity is going to be like, no, but I need them to do it. I need them in order to grow. You hold on to that codependent energy, you're going to keep getting more codependent people on your team. You rise other people up to be a leader. You empower them with tasks that they are perfectly capable of completing, and you encourage them on in that. You're teaching a man to fish. Okay. Mwah! Mwah! God bless you. More money in the hands of good people, and you good people.
Thank you so much, Jess. That was amazing.
Bye, guys. Oh, and everything's on jessicahefley.com. Hummus Express is $97. Prosperity with Purpose is $2,500. You're worth it. You will show up for, go check it out yourself. It speaks for itself. But I wanted to let you guys know it's a passion project of mine. And I believe in what I do. I believe in it. I am called to help more women create more peace to make more money.